everyone, welcome to this edition of Country Cooking. Wow, I can't believe it's October already. I have a menu planned, and some of them you're gonna think I've lost my mind. Fresh cucumbers and tomatoes. When I found the recipes, we were gonna record the show and issues happened, so we didn't. But you can still buy tomatoes and cucumbers in a grocery store, so when we get to that recipe, you'll see why I'm doing that. But this is the time of year where everybody's starting to clean out their gardens. Maybe you have garden cabbage, you have carrots, onions, and all that. So today I'm gonna do what, this is a recipe submitted by Tess Phillum from Valley. It's actually her Aunt Christy Aldridge's. It's called cabbage buns. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 1 head of cabbage diced, which I already diced. And this came out to be about 8 cups. I don't think you have to go that much. It just depends on how big your head of cabbage is. 4 to 5 carrots shredded, and 1 large onion diced. Now I don't know how large the onion's supposed to be, so I have a large onion diced, and hopefully it's not too much. We're gonna take this and we're gonna put it on the stove top, and we're gonna let it cook on low heat until the cabbage is tender, which I think the recipe here says for about 15 minutes or so. It doesn't take long for it to get tender. And then the rest of it will cook when we get it in our buns. So I'm gonna go over and do that. And we also need to brown up. Tessa's recipe calls for 1 pound of ground beef and 1 pound of sausage. I'm doing it all with just ground beef. You can also do it by adding other things that you have, like ham, turkey, chicken, you know, whatever meats you have on hand, you can use it. If you've got some shredded pork left from a pork roast or something, you could do it with that. So we're gonna go ahead and go over to the other stove or over to the cooktop and get this cooking and get the hamburger browned, start browning, and then I'll come back and start on the salad, so I'll be right back with you.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
This is the team you want on your side.
Taking you to the future with hometown pride.
Broadband, TV, phone services too.
Bringing the latest technology home to you. Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
While that stuff is on the stove cooking down and browning, we're gonna go ahead and start with the German cucumber salad. And it calls for 2 cucumbers sliced thin and 4 green onions. I don't know how thin thin's supposed to be. Everybody's opinions are different. So we'll just slice them up, and I should actually do 2 at a time so I get this done faster. They'll go rolling everywhere. All the recipes that we're cooking here again today and directions for everything that we ever make on the show are on Valley's homepage, so be sure to stop in and visit the homepage. If you don't have computer access and you want recipes, call the girls at the office. They'll send you out a copy. If you have recipes you want to share with me, especially now with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, maybe you got a family tradition you want to share with the viewers, we'd love to have them. Yeah, I don't know what our plans for Thanksgiving are this year. Hopefully I don't have to cook. I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm not real fast at slicing cucumbers, sorry. Okay, so we got our 2 cucumbers, and we need 4 green onions sliced thin. And I've already cleaned them, so they're ready to cut. I'm not going to put all that green in there. And then we need 3 small tomatoes sliced. And we're actually going to use 2 garden fresh. This one is big, this one is small, so we'll use these 2. It says slice, so I guess I think I'm going to slice and dice. That way when you eat the cucumbers, you at least get some tomato with it. I'm never in a hurry when I cut things. I've learned you can cut your fingers real easy. Or your fingernails. I had my fingernails done for my son's wedding, and I asked my beautician if it was okay if I did canning because I had salsa and stuff to put up, and she said, yeah, no problem, they'll be fine. She didn't tell me to watch out for the sharp knives because a sharp knife will take the gloss off, but nobody else noticed it, just me. So yeah, Mindy, they're really good. They're really good nails. So, okay, so we've got our tomatoes and our cucumbers and our onion in there. And then it says 2 tablespoons of snipped parsley. Well, like I said, these recipes were from before it got cold and people's gardens are no longer probably have all this stuff in it, unless you're somebody that does herbs and you've got fresh parsley in your herb window. I'm using the dried, and we're just gonna add a little bit to it. It calls for 2 tablespoons and I'm doing 1 teaspoon of the dried. That should be good. I gotta stir my stuff, I'll be right back. Everything's cooking good over there. We got our vegetables cut. Now for their dressing, we're gonna need a 1/4 cup of sour cream. And a tad more because it stayed on the spoon. 1/4 teaspoon of prepared mustard. I'm just gonna squirt. If you're in the kitchen often enough, you can kind of tell what's a 1/4 teaspoon. 2 tablespoons of fresh minced dill, and again, sorry guys, we're gonna have to go with dried because I don't have the dill. I actually threw it out because my freezer was starting to smell like dill. So we're gonna go ahead and add, oh, I would think let's see how close I am. I'm thinking a teaspoon would be good if you're using dried. Yep, teaspoon of fresh dried dill, sorry. And 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Eighth of a teaspoon of black pepper. And 1 tablespoon of milk. Okay, and then we're just going to mix all this up. It's not enough to actually go through the hassle of getting my mixer out, so we'll do it by hand. We have to do a little physical labor every now and then. And then you just pour it over your cucumber, tomatoes, and onions. Now remember to save this recipe for next summer when you guys all have your gardens and everything is fresh. Maybe you still have some cucumbers that you can do this with, or garden fresh tomatoes. And just stir it up well. Cover and refrigerate at least 1 hour before serving. I'm going to put this in the fridge, check on my hamburger and cabbage, and I'll be right back with you.
It's our best high-speed internet offer ever. Sign up for high-speed internet from Valley and get an Apple iPad mini for just $50, plus get free installation. Existing customers can upgrade to our 20 meg 5 meg speed and get an iPad mini for just $50. Call Valley today at 437-2615.
We've got the cabbage and sausage, or cabbage and hamburger mixture cooling down a bit. We've got our cucumber salad in the fridge, and while we're gonna work with the dough, that's gonna take time, so while we're gonna be working with that, I'm gonna have the harvest pumpkin bars in the oven baking, so they'll have time to cool while we're working with the dough. So the first thing you need is 1.5 cups of sugar. Well, preheat your oven to 350. And then we're gonna combine the 1.5 cups of sugar, 3/4 cup of butter softened, I'm seeing stars. Oh, it just must be my reflection. I'm kidding. I am. I'm seeing little silver stars. It must be the lighting today. So hopefully I'll read the recipe right for you. Then we need the 1 15-ounce can of pumpkin. And if you have real pumpkins in your garden and you want to use that, 15 ounces, go ahead and use your own pumpkin. I didn't plant pumpkins. I don't like to carve pumpkins. My kids are all grown, now it's grandkids' turn, so they get to do it with their kids. It's such a mess. Okay, pumpkin. And then we need 4 eggs, which I forgot to grab. And we're gonna put this all in the large bowl and beat it on medium speed, scraping the bowl often until well mixed. My butter is softened, but it doesn't want to mix real well with that pumpkin. Okay, now on low speed, we're gonna go ahead and add the 2 1/4 cups of flour. But before I dump the rest of this in, I'm gonna add the baking powder and baking soda to this. We need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. One teaspoon of baking soda. Half a teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And I'm making it a little bit more. I like that cinnamon taste. I'll just mix this in with that so it gets well blended. That way we don't have a chunk of baking powder someplace. scrape the bowl again and get anything that's not blended well mixed on with the rest of it. My youngest daughter, when she's growing up, Samantha was the fussiest eater ever. I mean, she lived on hot dogs and skinny noodle soup forever because she told me she didn't like stuff. Well, when she started school, she was eating stuff at school but not telling me. And when I started cooking at the school, I found out she was eating hamburgers. I mean, never made her one at home because she didn't eat them. Pumpkin bars are one of her favorite foods, you know, and it's got that spice and stuff to it, which really surprises me, but she likes them. So she has grown up and learned to eat a lot of different foods. And she's even more gutsier than me. She's tried real sushi, and I don't have the guts to do that one. So she's one up on her mom. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we added everything until it's mixed well, and this is what it's gonna look like. And then we're gonna pour it into an ungreased 10 by 15 jelly roll pan. It's got a nice thick texture to it. Yes, Nathan, there's going to be sweets at the office this week. Our wheat harvest is over with. I hope everybody's got theirs done and they had a good crop. I think we're doing okay. Now waiting for the soybeans to get to the mature point so we can start on them. And then we have our corn and flowers to do, but the weather has just cooperated so well this year that my husband's not crappy. I hope your guys' aren't either. Matter of fact, they've decided that they have extra time right now, and one of the landowners wants some ground broke, so they got the payloader out there and they're breaking ground and picking rocks, and I'm really glad I don't have to do that. There's lots of big rocks out there. Maybe I'll get one for my yard as a memento for all the rocks they had to pick. Yeah, this is very thick batter, so you can't just shake your pan, and you have to smooth it out to the edges. So that means these are going to be a real good bar. Okay, and then we're going to put them in the oven for 30 to 40 minutes, bake until the toothpick insert comes out clean. So we'll take a break. I'll put these in the oven, get my timer set, and we'll get this cleaned up and we'll be ready to start working with our cabbage buns.
Choose your special offer with Valley Cellular. You can either choose from BOGO, where you buy one smartphone for $49 and get the second one for free on certain devices, 3 months of free voice service, or a $100 signing bonus. Valley Wireless is nationwide cellular service with local customer service. Call or stop by today to take advantage of this great offer.
Okay, the pumpkin bars are in the oven baking. We got our cabbage, carrots, onion, and ground beef mixture here mixed up. Now we have to add 2 cups of shredded cheddar, jack cheese, mozzarella, provolone, whatever type of cheese you would prefer to add. So we're gonna go ahead, and I'm actually gonna add triple cheddar to my recipe. So haven't had it yet, but we'll see what it tastes like. And then we're gonna go ahead and season it with some salt and pepper too. So this is a 2-cup package. We're gonna mix that in. The dough part of this recipe, it will be on the Valley homepage. If you want to use from scratch type dough, I'm actually cheating. I didn't do from scratch because I didn't want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and start making dough. So I actually thawed out 2 loaves of frozen bread dough. first time I made this recipe, we might end up with a lot of cabbage rolls or cabbage buns here. I'm not sure yet. But you can use frozen bread dough, or like I said, you can use Tessa's aunt's recipe for homemade dough too if you'd like. Okay, we added the 2 cups of the shredded cheese, and now we want to add some sea salt. I don't know really what the difference is other than this is supposed to be healthier for you. I think they say whatever. But it's salt is salt. And if you can get the lid off, it's great. There we go. This way. That's a lot of cabbage. It needs some salt. Okay. Salt and pepper to your taste. And mix that up, and then we're ready to start making our cabbage buns. So you got to get out your rolling pin and your tough arms and your flours. We'll probably use a scoop. It says a nice thing, but we'll get to that point in a minute. So I'm going to grab my rolling pin and flour, and I'll be right back with you.
Keep up to date with all the latest news and offers from Valley and get in on some fun contests and giveaways. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook.
Okay, now we're going to go ahead and roll out the dough. You want to flour your surface so that it doesn't stick. It's one thing I like about my granite countertops. I don't have to worry about when I'm cutting stuff on it that I'm going to cut the linoleum or formica or whatever you call it. And this is like a real nice cutting board. Oh, it's stuck to the bottom of the pan. Okay. And we'll see how well this goes. I'm not sure how thin you're supposed to roll it. The recipe really didn't say. So we could end up with some really fat cabbage buns. Or we could end up with some that aren't real fat. Caleb's going to be joining us for lunch today. I don't think he's big on cabbage. We'll find out. So I would say this is going to be good for now. And it says, let's connect that. Come on. I want to pinch it together. Well, that'll have to be a cutting point. Okay, you're supposed to cut the dough into 4 to 5 inch squares. So we got to get these edges off. Pizza cutter works slick. I'm not measuring, I'm guessing. We can re-roll this. Okay, so then in each square, you want to add a good scoop of your filling. Just put it in the center. And I'm gonna hopefully get this done. I think I have too much filling. No, we're gonna make it work. And then you're gonna pinch it. To seal your seams. And then you're gonna turn them upside down on the pan so the seam is down. The recipe that Tessa's aunt put in there for dough, Tess made the little comment. She said, you can cut this in half unless you plan on feeding a lot of people. I mean, the recipe calls like 10 cups of flour. And I'm thinking, whoa, that's a lot of dough. But as I'm filling these and I'm looking at this cabbage, I'm thinking, you might need all that dough. And these are probably something that could be baked and then frozen, thawed, and reheated and would probably taste okay. We'll have to test that one before these recipes get put on the Valley's homepage so you guys know, and if you want to do it. Hey, a couple meals out of one day of work, that would be worth it. My husband's not big on leftovers, so I don't know. Maybe I could sneak them and he wouldn't know that they were from the same batch. Yep, I'm getting too much filling. Okay, I'm gonna keep stuffing these. We'll let Valley take you to a commercial, and when we come back, we'll have them ready to go. They won't go in the oven yet. They need to rise again, but maybe by the time you get back, the pumpkin bars will be out of the oven and we can do the final touches on them. So we'll be right back.
Valley's Mobile Command Center is coming to a town near you. Stop in at Valley's Mobile Command Center to learn more about our services, see and test some of our products, ask questions, or just to visit with us. Make sure to check your newsletter for specific dates and times when we will be rolling into your town.
The pumpkin bars are cooled now where we can go ahead and add. They say you don't need frosting. You could always do powdered sugar frosting, the cream cheese if you want. We're just gonna go ahead and sprinkle it with powdered sugar over some doilies, and of course, I don't have any but Valentine ones, so we'll see what we end up with as a decoration on this. But give me an A for effort, at least I had doilies. Yeah. I don't use doilies very often, so like, you know what, this is like me trying to stencil on a wall. It leaks. So, anyway, we got a design there. So with our episode, we had the cabbage buns that are still in the oven, trying to get them brown, the pumpkin bars, and our creamy cucumber salad. And we'll get all this cut up and put on a plate, and we'll be back with you in a minute. Here's what we've done for you today. We've got our German cucumber salad. We have the cabbage buns that have the carrots, onions, cabbage, and hamburger in it. And then we have the pumpkin harvest bar. All these recipes can be found on Valley's homepage. Like I said in the past, and I think I've even said it today, if you don't have internet access, call the office. The girls will be more than happy to print you up a hard copy and pop it in the mail to you. If you're coming through town and you got a minute and you want to stop in and pick up a recipe, they'll make you a copy. So that is what we've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoy it and have a nice fall.